is Mike from BTech Automotive, and today we are going to do the 1,000-mile review on my Nissan Sentra SR. Hey guys, thanks for joining back into the channel. So I recently hit 1,000 miles on the car. I've had it for a little over a month, and I wanted to give you guys my thoughts and my opinions on the Nissan Sentra SR. Keep in mind, this is a 2024 model, so this is me not knowing what differences between if there's a difference between a 2024 and a 2025 model. Some people are telling me that they are getting rid of the CVT on some of the newer cars, which again, a lot of people like that, right? And a lot of people hate CVT transmissions. But anyways, this is my thoughts and experiences on the vehicle. So first of all, I love the styling of the car, and I love the color. I love this blue, like metallic blue color scheme with the black top on it, right? It just has a nice looking. It's a nice looking vehicle, and I do apologize, it is very windy out here, guys. You can see the trees kind of flapping behind me. I'm out here at a park, but yeah, for the most part, you know, I do like the aggressive look that the SR has, opposed to you know, the regular SV or regular S model. Again, it's a very nice looking vehicle. It just has a very nice looking curves and what an appeal, in my opinion. You can see there I got a little Gengar sticker on there. Like the new Nissan badge. I definitely like the badging on the vehicle. I don't think it's like too crazy or too overexposed when it comes to the badging. I did get the windows tinted. You guys can see that the windows are tinted compared to my first video, so it looks a lot cleaner with the window tint. I do like the 17-inch tires. I'm sorry, the 18-inch tires. And again, these are hand-cooked tires. I don't think I explained that in the first video. There is an upgrade package on the tires, though. You can get them like in all like an aluminum black finish, different style rim, but I like this one. I like the spoke on this one. It looks a little bit different than the rest of them. So there's that. Again, guys, the vehicle is just a nice vehicle overall. It's been pretty pleasant to drive, and once I get inside, I'll explain a little more what I'm talking about. I did have an issue with the car, though, as far as having to take it to get serviced within the first week, and I'll go ahead and let you guys know about that once I get in, though. But yeah, I do love the LEDs on this car, by the way. No fog lights, unfortunately. I don't know why Nissan, and I don't know, I think this is like a US thing. Somebody quote me on that if I'm wrong, but most US vehicles, at least the newer ones that I'm seeing, are not getting fog lights. They're taking them away, at least on Nissan vehicles. I don't know about other branded cars, right? But you can see there might be a little bit of spots on it, but for the most part, you do have you know, you do have brake calipers all the way around. I believe the S model has drum brakes on the rear, by the way. So if you have an S model, you're gonna get drum brakes on the rear. It was like that with my Versa, where I had where I had rotors in the front, but not in the rear. So I mean, from a driving standpoint, you probably wouldn't be able to tell either way. So let's go ahead and get inside the vehicle, guys, and we'll go ahead and show you guys how I've been doing as far as fuel economy goes, right? So if I can find it here, I might have to turn the vehicle off to get the see, it says here I've been averaging about 21. Let's see if I can find it. No, okay, never mind. Yeah, I'm gonna have to turn it off really quick and then turn it back on, so you guys can kind of see what I've been getting as far as fuel economy goes, which is not bad at all. I actually have been driving with a heavy foot just because this car is a little bit faster than my other vehicles, so I've been trying to drive it a little bit faster. Let me go ahead and turn it off really quick so you guys can kind of see the fuel economy. So again, I believe that the standard for this car combined is 33 miles a gallon, right? My best is 31. It says currently on this specific, I guess, tank of gas, I'm getting 14.1 miles to the gallon, which is pretty horrible. But you guys know that these Nissans with these CVTs, and you can see here I have 1,100 miles on it as well. Let me go ahead and get it turned back on for you guys. But for the most part, it's been a very pleasant vehicle to drive. Let me go ahead and tell you guys what happened with my vehicle when I first got it. All right, guys. So in the front seat, and again, so what happened with my vehicle after a couple days of having the vehicle, and this is initially from my first test drive also. When I would brake, I would hear a thudding sound. So the thudding sound was, how do you say, when I first test drove the car, the guy that sold me the car said, oh, it's the brakes. The brakes just need to be broken in. So I gave him the benefit of the doubt because, again, you know, I've only owned a few new cars, and, you know, who am I to say anything, right? I'm not a mechanic. But for the most part, after a few days, it was still making a thumping noise. It was making like a thumping, thudding noise. You can really hear it once you were braking from like a 30 mile per hour speed. So literally, I took, after putting like 200 miles on the car, I called service and I told them, hey, I'm gonna take it in. So basically, I took the car in, and yes, there was something wrong with one of the rear. I think it was the rear brake caliper and the rotor. Apparently, I think the rotor was warped, I think. And I don't know if that was a manufacturer defect or something like that, or something else. It could have been. Regardless, luckily the car's under warranty, so I don't have to pay a dime out of pocket when it comes to that. So there's that. I did have to go a couple times because the first time they ordered the wrong part. I don't know how they ordered the wrong part, but they ordered the wrong part. I don't know how that happens in 2025 with all the technology that we have nowadays. So I ended up having to take my car back more than once. But once they got the correct part in, they finished the job within a few hours. The noise is gone. So I'm happy with that. As far as driving goes, guys, it's a very comfortable ride. Definitely a lot more comfortable than my Nissan Versa. If you guys follow the channel, I had a Nissan Versa prior to this. And that was a nice little car, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed it. I did feel that the ride height on that car was a little bit higher than this car. This car seems to sit a little bit lower, which I'm okay with. Again, it's a comfortable ride. I do like the fake leather seats, although summer hasn't hit right. So once summer hits, I know I'm going to be hating these because the seats are going to be nice and hot when I get in. Luckily, this car does have auto start and stop, right? Or you can turn this on with Nissan Connect app. So I can turn on the car at least 5 minutes before I get in, and the AC will cool down the car a little bit. As far as the rest of the car goes, though, I haven't really had any issues. One thing I have been enjoying is the auto climate control, right? It does have auto climate. So again, it does let me show you now. It does have, I do have it set to 69 degrees, even though it's probably about a good 85 degrees out here. I don't really care for the vents. I like these vents. They're kind of like Mercedes-esque vents. But anyways, I do like that everything has a button and that you can control everything with buttons rather than just a big screen. And excuse the mess down here. But it does have auto on and off, and then you have dual climate, right? So on this side, the passenger, if they are hot or cold, they can choose to, you know, change the temperature on their side if they want to. And again, I just love the fact that it's very simplistic in ways where everything does have buttons. Fan speed, you have your defrost, your rear defrost, your zoning if you want to have like just the vent, the air coming out from the vents, or if you want to have it coming out from the bottom or from up there, etc. like that. You know, the hazard light's very easy to access. Again, the Nissan Connect screen up here, or the little infotainment screen, it's about an 8-inch monitor. It's not the best looking monitor. I really wish that they implemented it like in the dash a little more, you know, where it's not sticking out. I don't really care for these like sticking out dashes. That's one thing I really don't care about, honestly. What else? But if the fact that, again, you do get physical buttons for everything. So if I wanted to go home, you just press the home button, you click the audio button, you know, you have your phone, your FM, your auxiliary port. Yes, this has an auxiliary port. What I hate about this, guys, and I'm going to tell you right now, let me move this junk. I've been doing my gig work. Let me see if I can zoom in on this. It's a little bright out here. You see that button? Okay, so that button is the auto on and off button. And basically this little 4-cylinder 2.0 engine, I don't know why it has it. This is probably the one thing I hate about this car, is has an auto off and an on and off feature. Basically what happens is when you come to a brake, you know, or a stoplight, etc., this function will turn the car, or it will turn the engine off. The car will still stay on, your AC will still work, everything is still functional, but the engine slightly turns off. And even if it comes, usually it turns on once you come to a direct stop. Now, of course, obviously the button is to turn the feature on and off, but I wish there was a way to turn this off fully in the system. You cannot turn it off fully in the system. I do hate it. Let me turn it off just so you can see it. So it says start, stop is off. The little button is there, so when it's there, it's on. When it's on though, the little light will turn on up there, etc. So you will have you will see that once it's on, it'll actually show on there. Let me see if I can move that back there. But I think that's the one thing I hate about it. And the reason why I hate it is because when I'm trying to pull out, like let's say at an intersection, if I'm turning somewhere and the car turns off, there's a little bit of delay, or there's a little bit of lag. So the lag is kind of bad when it comes to trying to pull out of an intersection fast, because again, if there's oncoming cars, that could potentially cause an accident. So I usually turn this feature off unless I'm really trying to be like economical on my gas. But anyways, that's just me complaining. That is a feature I hate. I really don't find it necessary in a 4-cylinder car. My mom has the same Sentra, the SV model from the 2023 year, and it doesn't have it. And her car actually, in my opinion, gets better gas mileage than this car. Same engine, same everything. Again, it just has the auto off feature. So again, over here you do have like an eco button, which I don't really use it. I most likely will use it when I decide to travel or go on like the highway on a long trip. That'll be coming up in May, so we'll see how that goes. But it does have that eco button. I guess on this side you do have the auto driver side window, but I wish that the passenger side had an auto up and down also, because when I'm doing stuff and I need to open the window for something, it's kind of annoying having to go back and having to hold it. But other than that, guys, hold on, let's change the angle. So other than that, I've been pretty satisfied with the vehicle. Again, it's a very comfortable ride. I can only compare it to my last two cars, which are the Nissan Versa and the Hyundai, I was going to say the Hyundai Sonata, but no, I've never owned a Sonata. It was the Hyundai Veloster, which they don't even make anymore. They discontinued that car. But I had a 2019 Hyundai Veloster, which was in the ballpark as far as price range goes. It was a little bit less. I think that car was like $24,000. It was the 2.0 premium model, but it did have a lot of features that this car didn't have. That car did have it had lane keep assist, which like if you were on the highway or if you were going, I think, more than 40 miles an hour, like if your car steered off in like a little bit to the left or to the right, it would actually keep you in the lane. So it would actually keep you straight. And I actually use that function a lot on the highway, especially when I had to like take my hand off the wheel for something. Like I trusted that it worked, and it worked, guys. This car doesn't have that, unfortunately. It just has, again, a warning. The steering wheel does shake a little bit when you're kind of going off a little bit from like the lane, but other than that, unless you have your blinker light on, that thing is always going to go on. It's kind of annoying, and it's kind of loud, actually. One thing I do like about this is the sound system. Also, it does come with a Bose audio system. It doesn't come with a subwoofer, but the speakers are very nice and crisp, and if you have it at a good level, it's not too bad. It's not, I wouldn't say it's up there when it comes to audio system, but the Bose audio system, I think, is very good in the car. That's one of my favorite things when I'm driving around doing deliveries. I'm jamming, and it's enjoyable. But for the most part, again, guys, I have taken this on the highway also a couple times. It does gain speed pretty quickly. Again, I can only compare it to my Nissan Versa, which is definitely a lot slower. The horsepower on that was like 110 or 115 horsepower. My Veloster was a little bit faster. I think that one was like closer to 160 horsepower. And the sport mode on that car was a lot better because it had a regular automatic transmission. This one, again, with the CVT, it does have a sport mode, but it's not very... I could tell, I feel like it does open the throttle a little bit more, and it does make the car feel a little bit faster. So I usually use sport mode on the highway when I'm trying to gain speed and I'm trying to pass a car, basically. Other than that, you don't really need it when driving in city. The car's not loud at all, by the way. Like if I were to turn the rev on, like, I don't know if you guys can hear that. It tops out at 4,500 RPM. You can hear the engine more than you can the exhaust. And that's one thing I kind of hate about this car is the exhaust sound. You hear more engine grinding when you're accelerating and putting it on the metal, or putting your foot on the gas pedal. I don't know why I said metal, but other than that, again, it's still a very nice car, guys. Again, this is just my thoughts and opinions. Don't get I've had this car for more than a month. I've had it for about a month and a week or so. 1,000 miles on it already. I've been driving the heck out of it, guys. I drive my vehicles. Last year I put about 8,000 on that little car, the little Versa, and I already have 1,000 miles on this one. So what does that tell you? It tells you that unless I'm making more money on YouTube, I'm going to be doing my deliveries. But overall, it's a good. I feel like if you're just telling you personally, right? If you are going for a Nissan Sentra, right? Again, I got the sporty model because I like the way, the car looks, already with the tires and the trim package and everything like that. All the stuff that it comes with, right? You do get Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. It's not wireless, unfortunately, but that's just, what you have to deal with in an economical car like this one. But again, for the most part, Apple CarPlay, it works, it's functional. Can't complain too much about it. I have been enjoying it. The only thing I hate about it is that it's not wireless, okay? So I really wish that I had like a wireless version of Apple CarPlay, and I actually ordered an adapter, so you might see a separate video about that where you plug it into the USB and you will get a separate adapter. You get to plug it into the USB and wireless CarPlay should work, so I'm excited about that. Now, of course, I do plug it in all the time when I'm using navigation. It doesn't have a built-in system navigation, but again, as long as you have your phone with GPS, Google Maps, Apple Maps, you'll be fine. What else? Steering wheel is fine also. I like the steering wheel. I did like the material a little bit better on my Nissan Versa. My Nissan Versa had a little bit more of a grippy material on the steering wheel. This one is more of just like a plain leather, but it's nice. It's a flat bottom, so I can't complain about the steering wheel whatsoever, guys. I mean, it's a very nice steering wheel, and I like the design. And again, seats are comfortable. They don't have like a lot of bolstering, but they'll keep you in the chair. This specific one does have power seats, I guess you want to call it. I've never pressed this button. What? Oh, okay. It's got lumbar support, I guess, for the back. I haven't tried using that yet. Interesting. Okay, I like to sink into my chair. I always wonder what that other button was for. I never really used it until now, but it does have automatic, at least for the driver. I don't believe it has it for the passenger. Yeah, passenger is just regular manual adjustable, but this one does have lumbar support for your back, I guess, as well. And again, auto front, and it does go up and down as well, so there's that. Not all SRs have that feature, by the way. I did get like the premium package for this car, so just be aware of that, guys. Like I've seen other videos for cars where this does have adjustable seats, automatic, but again, not all SRs have it. Now if you guys are just a regular consumer just trying to get into a Nissan Sentra, and you don't want to spend a lot of money, I believe the base starts at 21 to 23,000, if I'm not correct on that. So you can save money. Again, I got the top trim on it, and it's basically puts the car up more than like $5,000 more, not including financing, etc., like that. So unless you have a good down payment, I would say if you have a good down payment, go for an SV model, because the SV model literally has all the same features, and it does. The only thing is the SV interior is it's a beige interior rather than like a black interior. But again, it's really up to the person that's buying the vehicle. You can get SV with cloth seats, and same thing with the S model. If I were to go back in time and tell myself, hey Mike, like let's save monthly payment, right? Because right now I'm under $500 a month. I'm like in the high 480s, I think, or low 480s. I'm sorry, it's like 480 some. And I was paying $380 for my Versa. I would say it's a decent price, because I've seen some people tell me that, you know, when they go try to get a Sentra, that their financing is like in the 600s, and I'm like, damn, $600 a month for a freaking Sentra. But again, I guess that really goes back to your credit and whatnot. But again, guys, I've been enjoying this vehicle. You know, it's been a fun thing to drive. It's not the fastest vehicle, obviously, but again, for the most part, you know, it's a daily commuter for me also, so I wanted something that's a little comfortable and something that, you know, is stylish and at least decent looking, right? I loved my Versa. I love my little Versa. Like, in some ways I kind of regret trading it in, because, you know, I didn't have any problems with that. You know, this one I had problems out of the gate when it came to like the suspension. Again, luckily Nissan fixed it, so I haven't had any problems since. I did buy the extended warranty on this vehicle. I did not buy the gap on this car, but I did buy the extended warranty. So I do have an extra like 30 plus miles to play with, you know, if once I pass the 3-year 36,000 mile warranty. So there's that. One thing that you know really works on this vehicle, guys, is the accident alert. So there's been a couple times where, you know, the car in front of me braked right away, or, you know, I got too close to an object. That has really saved me when it comes to, you know, getting into an accident, because, you know, the little thing on the dash blinks right away and it makes a noise. So, you know, it alerts you and you brake right away. I don't recall if it's braked for me or not. I know that my Veloster had like an auto braking system. I don't know if this car has one. I think it does. I need to double check. All right, so you can see here it does have a driver assistance section, and again, it does have like blind spot monitoring, speed limit. So I finally figured out the speed limit sign, by the way. So there is a thing where it shows you the speed limit while you're driving up here. I'm not going to show that right now, obviously, because I'm stationary. But again, it does have emergency brake, and again, it will work for the front and the back. So, you know, again, at least I don't think I've experienced it yet. I've had to, but look, driver attention alert. So that has really you know, saved me from, you know, maybe getting into a little fender bender with the car. Another feature that I really do like over here is the camera button, and I made a small video about that. But basically, like, it does have 360 viewing angle, so when I'm parking like in tight spots, I actually use that. You can see here my car's parked at an angle. The sidewalk is like right there, and you can change, this is the front of the car, but you can change it to like the side, right? And that's a feature that I've actually been using a lot, like when especially when I'm going to like the car washes. It's a feature that I've been enjoying, and again, like, I haven't had any issues with that. A lot of people say the camera and everything looks shitty. Yeah, it's not the best looking camera. You can tell here that it's already alerting me that, you know, there's something here on the side, and it keeps going off. Basically, if you get close to something, it's going to continue going off. So there's nothing wrong with that. I use it when I'm parking, when I try to get as close to the curb as possible. That way I'm not, you know, crashing into something or hitting the curb, especially with the front bumper. That's something that I want to avoid. But yeah, overall, guys, basically, I'm pretty satisfied with the vehicle so far. You know, I'll probably try to do like another review at like 5,000 miles, maybe, you know, keep you guys updated if there's anything that goes wrong with the car. Maybe at its first service I will go ahead and, you know, update you guys. I do want to mention one thing, and I'm probably going to mention it when I go get my first oil change, but there's a spot on the roof. Let me go show you guys. So again, super windy out here. So there's a spot on the roof where there's paint that looks like it's chipped on the inner portion here. I don't know if you guys can see that. It was like that when I bought the car. I thought it was like tape or something, because you know how some new vehicles will have like stuff like to protect it, you know, but it's like right there, and it's like right here on the inner portion. It doesn't really affect anything, but if it continues to chip, obviously it's a black roof. You guys can see that it's a black roof. It'll go all the way over here. So again, hopefully nothing happens to that. As far as that goes, other than that, guys, again, if you guys have any questions questions or comments about the car itself, leave them in the tell section down below. Again, it's a very nice car. I think if there's one thing I would do to this, if I had the money to put out, I would get an exhaust system for it. I've seen videos where people will do muffler deletes on the exhaust, because again, there's just really no sound coming out of this exhaust, and it's a nice looking little pipe or whatever, but that little thing down there is what kind of ruins it. It takes away all the sound. So I had a buddy suggest to me to do a muffler and a resonator delete, and it would sound a lot nicer. But at the same time, I'm thinking to myself, man, like, do I do it or do I, hold off on it just in case I decide to trade my car in a couple of years? So you tell me, guys. You tell me if that's a good idea or not to get a muffler / resonator delete on it for a Nissan Sentra, right? It's not like I'm going to be racing or doing anything like that, but again, I do like nice sounding mufflers and exhausts, or whatever you want to call it, nice sounding exhausts, but I don't want it to be too loud either. So again, guys, if you guys can smash the like button for me on the way out, I would really appreciate it. And again, I apologize about the wind noise out here, but again, thanks again for watching my overview, or my 1,000-mile review on the Nissan Sentra SR. Again, probably the nicest vehicle I've had to date as far as like a brand new car. So again, guys, I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks again for watching. Smash that like button, and we'll see you guys next time.